Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Travis and Damian podcast, episode 137. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more. Today, we are talking about the Knuckles series, Stellar Blade, Spider-Man, Deadpool and Wolverine, and more. But as usual, we're going to start with our recent activities, pretty much anything and everything we've been doing within the past 2 weeks. So, Damian, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so I've still been playing like a ton of Fallout 4 because of all the Fallout TV hype and stuff. I mean, it seems like a lot of people were because the Steam numbers on all the Fallout games are like insanely high. Mm-hmm. So, we've already talked about it last podcast, but, the Fallout TV show was very good and obviously it sparked a lot of people to be like, I want to play Fallout now. And for me, I decided to give Fallout 4 another shot. And like I said in the last podcast, I've been really, really enjoying it. And that hasn't really faltered. I've been having a great time with it. The gameplay loop of it is a game of, you explore, you get some shit, you encounter a cool side quest or whatever. That stuff hits really well. And I think it's hitting a lot better here than it did in Starfield. Because Starfield is like a lot more just randomly generated stuff. So it just didn't hit the same as this game is. Like, I think the dungeon design is a lot better. You get like cooler stories in the dungeons because it's all handcrafted and stuff. And I honestly just been enjoying a lot of the side quests as well. Like the main story stuff is like whatever. That's a big criticism with Fallout 4 in general, is like the writing isn't as good, and it's not, compared to like Fallout New Vegas, like, that game is written a lot better, but it's still a lot of fun. Like, I think the gameplay and especially like shooting people, like I said last podcast, it just feels good. Like, I think New Vegas and 3, like the shooting mechanics felt like dog shit. So it's nice to have more of a, it does feel more of a looter shooter now, but I think it does it really well. So it just makes it for a really addicting gameplay loop. And I'm starting, like, some things I do, still have issues with is, the dialogue system. Like I said, you can't really like pick what you want to pick because your character would say stuff is like, oh, I didn't really mean to say that, but I guess that's what the character is saying. So whatever. So that's still kind of lame. I always think all the companions are like cool, but in some other Western RPGs usually have like a companion quest, so you get to know them more, and it's great because you get to, like the whole thing about RPGs is having like your party and getting to know your party members and all that. In this game, I feel like half of them don't even have companion quests. You kind of just get them and that's it, which feels like a giant waste of like characterization and stuff. Like there's only like a few of them that get decent character building, and the ones that do get it, it's great, but there's so many of them that are just kind of there. I'm like, why don't you do more? I feel like I think they did fix that in Starfield, even though those characters are maybe a bit more boring than the ones in Fallout 4. At least they had stuff to do. Like you could go through a whole ass companion quest that had multiple quests, and it was really cool, and you could hang out with them. Like I think every Western RPG should probably be aiming for something like that. But yeah, overall, Fallout 4 is a lot of fun. And I don't know if I'll finish it by next podcast because the game is long as shit. And I want to do all the DLCs as well. But I'm just slowly chipping away at it. It's really fun. Next is Stellar Blade. So this game has been so fucking controversial for like so many reasons.
If you could explain that to me, because I have no idea what's actually going on.
So most of the controversy is just kind of like on Eve, which is the main character, and how she looks. Just being like, some gamers are like, she looks too revealing or whatever. And to other people it's like, oh no, all video game characters should be sexy and like they're taking away our sexy women or whatever. I think like, okay, like the side that's saying like we need more sexy women in games and all women look ugly in games now, I think that's like really fucking stupid. Like it's such a weird argument, and they've been like putting this game on a pedestal because of that. But also on the other end, I really don't really mind how she looks. I mean, I'll be a hypocrite if I said that because, I played Bayonetta, Xenoblade 2, Nier, like I don't really care as long as they're like a good character. Like, or is that, and her base design doesn't look that much worse than like Zero Suit Samus or whatever. So like, I think it's fine. But I get how it can make someone uncomfortable because, she does look like the way she looks. But the other side of the argument is also like super cringe. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? And now they're spinning up a whole other thing where it's like, oh, they like censor one of her outfits or whatever, even though she has like outfits in the game that aren't censored, that her whole ass is out. So I'm like, I don't really understand what we're fighting for. So yeah, are those all that stuff is like really dumb, and I didn't really care for it. I just wanted to know how the game was, and it's good. You know, all the reviews came out. This is a game I was kind of waiting for reviews for because I thought it looked cool from the trailers and stuff, but I wasn't sure if the game was really going to land or whatever. But it seems all the reviews really liked it. You know, it's like a solid 8 from a lot of people, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. You know, it's heavily inspired by Nier. You know, a lot of the story beats are just Nier. The way it looks is Nier. The music is Nier. So it's taking a lot from Nier, but also it's taking a lot from other games. You know, the main gameplay loop is a lot more Souls-like than I thought it was going to be. But it's not enough to like turn people off if you don't like that sort of gameplay. Because I haven't really played the Souls games before, but it kind of plays like Jedi Fallen Order, where it's like it kind of takes like you have like your little bonfire or whatever, and when you rest there, all the enemies respawn, and then the combat it's a little more slow. Like you have to like read enemy telegraphs and stuff, counter, block, dodge, all that stuff. And it makes a really fun gameplay loop. It's a lot more. It's kind of hard too. It kind of kicked my ass a bit, but it's not like too hard like a Souls game where it's just like it feels like you have to go through a bunch of shit. But and it combines that Souls-like gameplay with more I guess like DMC Bayonetta combat, where you still have like a bunch of flashy combos. Every time you like perfect parry or perfect dodge something, you also get some energy, so you could do a cool special attack. So it kind of combines both of those like combat systems together pretty well. And yeah, I honestly just think the game is like just a ton of fun. It's a solid action game. The exploration is a lot of fun. Right now, it seems like the game's kind of split between two gameplay styles, where you have like your more linear missions where you kind of just go through like, just a standard like curated level. There's a bunch of hidden paths you could find, all that good stuff. Like the level design is really nice. And then you have your sort of more open world areas, which I'm in right now, where you could go through all the different points of interest and, get more collectibles and loot and shit. And I think it's a really satisfying gameplay loop. The game looks great as well. Like the graphics look really nice. I had like no performance issues either. I think I'm playing on balance. So I think that's like targeting 60 frames most of the time, but still has a lot of like visual fidelity. It looks great. Like when you're in combat, it runs at a nice 60 frames. It looks really good. The game in general is just really solid. I haven't played too much. I played, I think, about 5 hours. Like I just did that first opening level. I visited the first city, and now I just started the first open world segment. But right now, I think the game is just a lot of fun. And, barring all that controversy aside over things that I don't think really matter too much, I definitely think it's worth a shot if you like something like Souls or if you like something like Bayonetta or Nier, because it's definitely going for those same vibes. I heard the weakest part of the game is the story, and I'm not far enough to really gauge that yet. But they haven't really explained like anything that's going on yet. Besides, like, we have to kill the Nutibas, which are like the evil people. Like, go kill them. I'm like, okay. Most of the lore is from like those like log entries or whatever, and I was reading some of that. And like that's about where all the lore is at the moment. So yeah, they haven't really explained a lot, but I'm sure as the game goes on, I will know more and kind of have a more of an opinion on that. But I did hear that's like the weakest part of the game, because it's trying to be too much like Nier and doesn't really land. But again, I'm not going to judge it yet because I haven't played that. So yeah, outside of all the controversy, about how Eve looks or whatever, I think the game is really fun. It's a really solid PS5 exclusive. And if you like all those genres I just mentioned, like Souls-likes or Nier or more just action adventure games, it's very solid. It's also really accessible. Unlike Souls games, it does have an easy mode. So if you want to play on story mode, you could do that if you're finding the combat a little too stressful. But I think it has balanced itself out pretty well. Like if you're good at action games, you should be okay. It's not like too difficult to like get through. But yeah, it's a great game. And at first I wasn't even gonna bother buying this, but I'm also like what, it's getting good reviews. There's a lot of people talking about it, and I probably should play something on the podcast. It's not like 10 years old. Like fucking Fallout 4. Also, I kind of was like itching to play it at this point, so I decided to pick it up, and I'm not regretting it. It's a lot of fun. So hopefully I have more to say about it later. Just if you were worried about the controversy, don't, because it's all dumb. So yeah.
Noted.
All right, so next and the last thing I was playing was Paper Mario, the original one on Nintendo Switch Online. I was just playing this sort of to just like, get myself hyped up for Thousand Year Door remake. And, the game still holds up super well. Like the turn-based combat is still a lot of fun. The action commands makes, turn-based combat really exciting and fun for me. The art style still holds up really, really well, even though this is an N64 game. And I think that generation of consoles have aged the worst, in my opinion. I know some people have gotten really used, like they start to really like the low poly art style. I still think it kind of looks a little ugly, but Paper Mario does not do that because it has its own really unique art style, and it still lands like till this day. It looks really good. And yeah, it's just a really solid game. Like if no one's ever played Paper Mario before and you're subscribed to Nintendo Switch Plus or whatever the fuck it's called, I definitely think it's worth I definitely think it's worth playing Paper Mario the original before jumping into Thousand Year Door just to see if you like it. But yeah, I think it's a great time. I really missed it when Paper Mario was an actual RPG and not, whatever it's trying to do now. I mean, I heard good things about Origami King, but I don't know. When I'm playing these games, like I want to have some sense of progression when actually fighting things. Cause in a lot of the newer Paper Mario games, you get like no sense of progression from fighting or doing anything. It's all about getting coins or whatever, but you can get those coins easily by running away from battles, just finding them in the overworld. Like in Sticker Star especially, like it was actually worse to use your stickers because you needed that shit for boss fights. So why even bother with the cannon fodder? So, but yeah, that's a whole nother rant. Not a big fan of the new Paper Mario games, but I am really happy that Thousand Doors game remade, and Paper Mario the original still holds up extremely well. So yeah, recommend. I mean, I've already played it before. I was just kind of going through it again because it's a great time. So yeah.
Yeah, if you want to play the lowest of the low, play Sticker Star, but don't. Yeah, actually, it's
don't do terrible. That. Sticker Star is actually terrible. So yeah.
All right, so what have I been doing? I'll be honest, I've been lacking on my gaming, to be honest. I still need to get through God of War, but I've been doing a lot of other things within movies and comic books. So first up, I want to talk about the Daredevil comics that I've been reading. And no, I did not read all 93 issues, David. So I started reading the 1990s run because I wanted to see sort of that part of the Daredevil run, but also get to the Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev stuff, which is apparently like super duper good. And this was Brian Michael Bendis' first foray into Marvel. So the fact that he was able to do such a good job with Daredevil opened his doors to other things such as Ultimate Spider-Man and others. So this entire comic run that I read 1 through 93, it's not everything. I skipped like the last part of it because I was just like, I want to get to the other run where they introduce Muse, who's going to be a new villain within Daredevil Born Again, the new Disney Plus series. So I was like, I'm gonna just skip this last chunk and then get to the 2016 run. But anyways, 1990 through 2007 run. You know, there are definitely some bits of it that are good, that are not Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. But for the most part, I feel like their run and sort of their interpretation of Daredevil was very, very strong. Like if you want to just skip most of the other writers and whatnot, I don't blame you because, you know, that's sort of like where like the good stuff is. But for the most part, this run is like decent. Obviously, 93 issues is a lot, so I don't blame you if you want to skip around and go to the Brian Michael Bendis stuff. And he doesn't focus on Daredevil 100% of the times. There's certain stories where it's focused on the civilians. It's sort of people who were helped by Daredevil, and they sort of tell their story because a big part of this run is that Daredevil's identity gets revealed. So pretty much almost everyone knows that he's Matt Murdock, and that becomes like a huge issue throughout the run where he's like, I am not Daredevil, I am blind, I can't see shit or whatever. And it's like, like obviously we as the reader know that, but exactly how much are the people within the run itself going to really buy that? And eventually I think towards the end of this, which is not like a big spoiler because they mention it a lot within the other runs, such as Chip Zdarsky, which was the other one that I read months ago. They mentioned it a lot that like pretty much Matt did some weird magic stuff where everyone forgot who Matt Murdock was in terms of like Daredevil's identity. So I'm pretty sure that's what happens at the end. But like I said, I skipped that stuff because I was just like, that's pretty much what's going to happen. But yeah, and Brian Michael Bendis, his run, it sort of ends in a weird spot, but I encourage you to read ahead up until issue 93, which is where I ended, because that's just sort of like the end of that arc. I'm not going to spoil exactly where it ends, because I was also surprised where they stopped writing for it. I was like, why are they stopping it? Because they were going on very, very strong, and people were obviously liking it. But, you know, they were just like, we're done with the story that we wanted to tell, and they moved on to other stuff. Now moving on to the 2016 run, I just started it, so I just got up to where Muse is getting introduced. But you know, it's fine. It feels a lot more, I would say, Saturday morning cartoon, where it's like some issues are like one-off adventures, which is kind of weird because most of the time when like a comic book does like a story, it's usually like 3 to 4 issues long, but some issues literally end within one single story, and I'm like, okay, like it worked, but like would I have liked to see a little more fleshed out, a little more? Sure, but you know, I hear that this run overall is not that great compared to the other Daredevil stuff, especially when you talk about Zdarsky, Bendis, etc. But you know, I'm honestly just reading it just so I could get an idea of who Muse is as a villain before I get to see him within the Disney Plus series. And then I watched a bunch of movies, maybe too many. So first one, Spy Family, Code White. This was a anime movie that I was looking forward to just because, I love Spy Family. Me and my girlfriend watch it a lot. So after we caught up with season 2, which by the way is very, very good, we wanted to go and watch the movie. So we did that. And it's pretty much what you would expect from a Spy Family movie. It's a original story. It's non-canon. So, stuff isn't going to be too crazy, too outlandish, but it's still the same comedy, the same jokes. I think Bond is still a little underused because I love Bond. He is the dog, but obviously the main focus is usually on Lloyd and Anya. What's it called? God damn it. What's her name? I forget.
Yor?
Yes, Yor. Yor is still like, she gets a lot of stuff within season 2, which I think is a big thing that people had a problem with within season 1. But within this movie, it feels a little bit like in the middle. Like she still does stuff, but it's not like as impactful within, I guess, like season 2 or whatever. But still, it's a great movie. If you like Spy Family, go out and go see it. I know that some people, they did like the AMC like blind thing where like you would buy the ticket, but you wouldn't know what movie you would see. And then they went into it, and then it was like, oh, what the fuck's this goddamn anime movie? And
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like some people didn't like it because I was reading like letterbox reviews, and people were like 1 star, 1.5, or whatever. I'm just like, well, this movie's obviously not for you. But if you like Spy Family, go out and go see it. The other movie I saw was Challengers. This is the latest movie starring Zendaya. It's pretty much about tennis, and it's very drama heavy. So if you're into that, go out and go watch it. I will say that the directing is very, very good. The music is like fucking insane. There's a lot of moments where like the music really does like help the scene out, where like things are getting intense, where people like shouting or like yelling at each other, and sort of like drama stuff, obviously, because it's mainly like a love triangle between Zendaya and the other 2 tennis players. The way this movie is structured as well is not like a linear path. They're jumping around a lot between the past and the present, which did get confusing at first, but like once you're like in it, it's like, okay, like now I understand what's going on, because when they go into the past, it's usually to like reveal stuff that is contextualized within the present. So it's a very good movie. It's been doing well within the box office, which is very surprising for a movie like this, a R-rated tennis drama movie. I feel like
Zendaya, bro. Bringing seats,
I feel like with the whole, Barbenheimer, even Dune 2, people are getting much more invested in going into the movies, and Challengers is like that next one. So, if you like going to see movies and you like Zendaya, especially, like she's very, very good within this film, along with the other 2 main leads, which I forget their name. I'm so sorry. But Challengers is very, very good. I'll save Spider-Man for last, but the next movie I saw, which was actually just last night, which is The Fall Guy. This is a movie starring Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling. You've probably seen this trailer a bajillion times if you go to the movies a lot. And if you like that trailer, you will like this movie. It's pretty much just like that. It's sort of like a rom-com action movie. It's kind of weird, but it makes sense. The story is sort of like, okay, it's sort of just a way to go and get the characters moving and sort of build drama and sort of build, conflict or whatever. But really, the movie is sort of like a love letter to stunt teams. It's sort of like what they do for action movies, because they are very much underappreciated, because Ryan Gosling's character, he pretty much plays as like this stunt guy, and he is, sort of in a flirtatious fling with Emily Blunt's character, and it's sort of like, they're a thing, they're not a thing, drama. But like the romance of it is like actually not that bad. The comedy of it is actually very funny. I was laughing a lot, and obviously the action pieces are like kind of crazy, kind of insane. They sprinkle them throughout the movie to go and make sure that people are, attentive, but also, they also have, like I said, those rom-com bits also sprinkled in throughout. So it's a weird sort of mix of genres here, but it actually does work out. I feel like this is a movie that you'll see once and that's it. I feel like rewatches aren't necessarily going to do you any favors, but if you want to see a fun action rom-com movie, The Fall Guy is that. And then the last thing is obviously the Spider Mondays. I saw Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi directed, and yeah, it was just magical, honestly. So starting off with Spider-Man 2, when I was talking to my coworker Chris, shout out to him, he saw Spider-Man 1 and he was like, I don't know, man, I think that this movie might be better than 2. And obviously it's been years since I've seen these movies as a whole, so as I'm watching Spider-Man 2, I'm like, okay, like this is still good, but then the moment when Peter gets his powers back to go and save MJ, I was like, nah, this shit's better. Because like that entire sequence where it's like, he drops the glasses, it goes into him swinging, and then it zooms out and you see Doc Ock's glasses and all that shit. I'm just like, man, this movie's fucking great. Like Sam Raimi, both of these movies, Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, are very different. Spider-Man 1 is very much like a origin story action film. Spider-Man 2 is very much like a character drama where like it's very much about Peter Parker. He's fucking depressed. Like he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. So he goes through those motions in sort of like what he wants and sort of what it means to be Spider-Man and shit like that. And it was just beautiful. It was just so much fun to actually see it again on the big screen, especially. Spider-Man 3 was also magical just because that's the one Spider-Man movie out of these three that I still remember seeing in theaters. I saw it with my dad, my brother, and my cousins. And people love this movie now, within retrospect, just because, people really don't make superhero movies like this anymore because it has to be part of like a bigger sort of universe and everything like that. But Sam Raimi, he did not want to include Venom and a couple of other things within the film, and it sort of messed up the plot. But overall, like it was still like a fun watch. Like I can still enjoy watching this film, and I think people in my theater especially, this was the one movie that people were the loudest because people loved, fucking Bully Maguire, all of the stupid meme stuff and like sort of like the awkward moments and whatnot. Like it was a lot of fun. And even then, like Sam Raimi was able to deliver a film that was still able to cap everything off, like at the end when he forgives Sandman, like people were clapping and cheering because I'm like, man, that's fucking beautiful storytelling. So, Spider-Man 3, it may not be super duper good compared to the other two, but it still has a special place in my heart, especially because in 3rd and 4th grade, that was like my personality as a kid, was this fucking movie. Like I was just obsessed with it. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to go and watch the rest of the movies because I've also booked the Tom Holland movies now. Because quick story, after we watched Spider-Man 2, this one random kid, I don't know what the fuck his problem was, but he was just like, yeah, man, Tom Holland sucks. Yeah, these movies are great. And then he started talking to Jimmy Mullen, which I've seen all of these films with him so far, and he's like, yeah, man, Tom Holland sucks, right? And I'm just walking, I'm like, man, I don't want to hear this kid yap or whatever, because I'm just like, me personally, like I don't hate Tom Holland, but I can recognize that like his films may not be as good as these old ones. Maybe it's fucking nostalgia talking or whatever it is, but it's not Tom's fault. Like Tom is still like a very good actor. He still loves this fucking character, and it showed within No Way Home, or No Way Home. The fact that he was the one to be like, we need to give Peter this fucking ending where he sacrifices himself and everyone forgets who he is and he ends up in a shitty goddamn apartment and everything like that. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like he still loves that character, and we'll talk about more later on within when he talks about Spider-Man 4, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, behavior like that was just fucking weird, and I was just like, get this guy away from me.
He's Twitter in real life.
Yeah, actually.
Always dogging on Tom.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's always with the Spider-Man stuff, like, I don't know, I think all of them bring unique stuff to the table. Like, I think the only movie, like, I really would say is, like, not good probably is Amazing Spider-Man 2, but, Andrew Garfield's still, like, he still is a good Spider-Man. Like I still really enjoy it, especially in that movie. Like he gets really wacky with it, and I think that's what makes him a really fun Spider-Man to watch. Obviously, the Sam Raimi stuff is great as well. Even if I think Tobey Maguire sometimes feels a little like too awkward, but I still love those movies. They were such a huge part of my childhood and why I love Spider-Man so much. Even though Spider-Man 3 is a mess, it is a fun mess to watch.
Yes,
I kind of feel the same way about Revenge of the Sith as well. They have like the same energy where like, maybe they're not technically good movies, but they're still like a lot of fun, and there was like a lot of heart put into it. So I still really love both of those movies a lot. And with the Tom Holland stuff, I think it's like the new thing, and whenever like a new installment of a series comes out, it usually gets dogged on the most. So whenever the next Spider-Man thing comes out, that's gonna get dogged on the most. So whatever. I think like Homecoming is like like really good. Like the first Tom Holland one, like I still really enjoy that movie, and I love, Far From Home probably is maybe a little less than the others, but I still like that movie too. And then No Way Home I really enjoyed. So I don't know. People always have opinions, but with Spider-Man, people get really fucking like crazy with it. So
people get really goddamn cynical. And like you said, I love what all three of these actors have done for the character, for better or for worse. And I cannot wait to finish off these Spider Mondays as we continue moving on.
All right. Now on to the news. I'm going to start this because, Sony made it personal. So LittleBigPlanet 3 servers are officially shut down indefinitely, Sony confirms. So the backstory for this was, obviously, LittleBigPlanet 1 and 2 servers are down, so you can't really play like any of their creative levels anymore because they transferred all that to LittleBigPlanet 3. But a few months ago, some hacker group was basically holding the LittleBigPlanet 3 servers hostage. So like no one was able to play it. And at first Sumo Digital, I believe, were like, oh, we'll bring it back at some point. Like, don't worry. Like this won't like disrupt our, operations or whatever. But then I guess the hack was like way too costly to actually end up fixing because, who's playing LittleBigPlanet 3 in 2024? So they're just like, you know what? Just shut it down. It probably isn't worth the money to fix up these servers. And that fucking sucks because this is not just LittleBigPlanet 3 creative levels. This is basically all of LittleBigPlanet 3 level, or like all LittleBigPlanet in general. All those levels are gone, which is like really sad and like just kind of terrible. I hate the hacker group for doing this. I hate Sony for basically just being like, nah, this doesn't really matter. There's a lot to blame at, but, at the end of the day, it kind of just sucks for like anyone that was still really invested in LittleBigPlanet and people like me that, LittleBigPlanet 2 is like one of my favorite games ever. So seeing like all those levels that, I would basically never be able to play again is like really sad. So, it just really sucks, it kind of sucks with things like game preservation because how you're supposed to preserve this, right? Like you can't like the people that were doing that Mario Maker thing where they were completing all of Mario Maker. That was such a cool fucking thing to see because it's like, oh, they basically are preserving Mario Maker by like showing all these levels and completing them. That's really cool. But LittleBigPlanet didn't have that same dedicated fan base, so it's kind of sad to see a lot of these levels like just kind of go away because some of them were like super cool and super unique and probably led to some a lot of people having a lot of passion in like game development because of this game. And seeing that will go away really fucking sucks. I mean, I'm really hoping Media Molecule is making a LittleBigPlanet 4 since I don't know what else it could be doing right now because Dreams is kind of dead. And like I think they only have like one more game in them before they're like gone forever. So I feel like a LittleBigPlanet 4 would be the thing that hopefully saves them and does really well because I would love to see it. Maybe these levels could come back in like LittleBigPlanet 4 if they do one. I don't know. I'm kind of coping, but it does suck though. It's like years of like levels just gone. So yeah, and and Sony's such a big like they just don't really care about their past a lot of the time. They like to move forward a lot. Like I feel like the PS5 generation has probably been the most they've actually been like, okay, you could play some of your old games again, just don't access anymore, and that's fine, I guess. But it still sucks how they just kind of like treat all their old stuff kind of like shit, and it kind of doubly sucks because I'm like I grew up with the PS2 and stuff, so like I don't get that. Like Nintendo always does it, but Sony doesn't. I'm like, why? So yeah, it kind of just sucks.
I mean, as someone wearing a Sly Cooper shirt, I know what it feels like for them to just like not give a shit about their old stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is very terrible. The fact that LittleBigPlanet fans, if they are even out there that are still playing this game, they didn't even get a chance to, sort of play every single level and sort of do that thing that the Mario Maker guys got to do. And obviously, like this is over a decade worth of levels just gone straight up. No one is able to play them again unless you have them locally on your console. And yeah, I mean, it just makes the value of all of the LittleBigPlanet games just go down the drain because it's like, well, now you only have the single player stuff. And even then it's like, it's kind of like basic levels, basic platforming stuff. Like you said, a lot of the creative levels and sort of like the appeal of LittleBigPlanet was the fact that people were, sinking hours, maybe even days, making these super crazy fun levels for people to try and check out. So the fact that it's gone sucks. Maybe they'll do something about it in the future. I highly doubt it. Hopefully within Little Big Planet 4, they're able to do something to sort of retcon all of this or whatever. Maybe make up for it for those people that are still interested in the Little Big Planet series. But yeah, as someone who, sort of likes the games, I got into it with just the first one. I don't think I've ever played any of the other ones. It's a cool, fun little like creative platformer game. But, I'm not very much a creative person. So when it comes to me using all of the goddamn tools that they have, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So,
yeah, I just love messing around. It's actually funny because I played Little Big Planet 1 first. And I'm like, I thought it was fine. But then Little Big Planet 2 came out and they basically fixed a lot of problems I had with 1. And like, I was just I love that game. I played so much of that game. And Little Big Planet 3 was like, okay. But, it was still like such a special game. It was doing the things that Mario Maker were doing like years before it. And you could just make whatever game you want in that thing. Like people making like computers and shit in that. So I'm really hoping for Little Big Planet 4, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So it's just kind of up to whatever Meteor Molecule is going to end up doing. Because I don't think Sumo Digital is even like, I think they got bought by Tencent or some shit. So I don't even think they're working on. I think the last Little Big Planet thing they worked on was Sackboy's Big Adventure, which was a good game. But yeah, I'm just hoping Meteor Molecule comes back to the series, but we'll see. Because this really sucks. But yeah.
All right, so next bit of news, we got a answer as to why there are no Nintendo skins in Fortnite. So a longtime Fortnite developer has sort of come forward, Donald Mustard, and sort of explained what happened between Fortnite and Samus Aran, because I believe that was like one of the big ones that they sort of teased. And pretty much Nintendo was like, yeah, but only if your Nintendo Switch players can use the skin. So obviously that was like a big thing because no matter what skin or what console you play on, you could see everything. You could see every single anime skin, no matter on your, dog Nintendo Switch or your PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Everyone could see what you're wearing and who you are. The fact that Nintendo was trying to sort of gatekeep their characters to their own console, I'm not really that surprised. I just wish that they were a little more friendly and willing to be like, all right, Epic, we'll allow you to do this once, for once in their goddamn, Nintendo thing, to not be Nintendo for once. It'd be like, okay, yeah, sure, Samus Aran could be in Fortnite and she could be visible and playable on pretty much every single console. Obviously, that's not what happened, and we probably will never see Nintendo skins in Fortnite because of that, because they are so stuck within their ways of being like, well, if there's going to be a character skin of our characters, it has to be only on our console. So it is what it is. It sucks that Nintendo thinks like that, but you can't blame Epic for not trying, right?
Yeah, Nintendo kind of just is really weirdly protective with the IP. I totally think I just forgot until right now was like the whole Gary's Mod thing where they were like taking down a bunch of like Gary Mod models and stuff from Steam because it's like you can't do that now apparently, even after 20 years. And at first people thought it was like, oh, is this some rogue like guy just going on like flagging everything in the Steam Workshop for as like Nintendo or whatever? But Gary was like, nah, that actually like mad like take down this stuff from Steam. So and this kind of goes with that where I'm just like, I don't know, like it's fine to like be like, they own the IP, so they have the final say and stuff. But, a lot of companies are so chill with it, and they don't care. Like, Sega allows so many Sonic mods and ROM hacks to happen, and they ended up making one of the best Sonic games being Sonic Mania, And, same thing with Bethesda stuff. Like, they allow so many modders to make so much crazy stuff that ends up being better than the base game itself, So, there's no reason to not have these things exist. People are doing it because they love your IP and they love like what you're doing, right? So that should be good enough. But Nintendo doesn't see it that way. So it really sucks that we could never get any Mario or Zelda or Samus in Fortnite because that would have been amazing, just hitting the gritty, how it is. But yeah, it kind of just sucks that they just don't want to play nice. And that's really annoying because we're in this ecosystem now where like, cross-play, cross-progression is such a huge thing now that, the gaming ecosystem is as connected as ever. So it doesn't make sense to still be like super tight about your IP. Like, let Link show up there, Like, who cares? But whatever.
Yeah, it definitely is always hilarious whenever they release new skins like the Avatar ones. If people just start doing the random emotes on them, I'm like, okay, yeah, bro. This is why Fortnite's great. But, Nintendo doesn't want to play nice, so it is what it is.
All right. So next, we're starting to get some not E3 news. So an Xbox showcase followed by a redacted direct is going to air on June 9th. So the usual time to do stuff is going to be at 1 p.m. ET, Eastern Standard Time. So that's important for us. But 10 a.m. if you live in the West Coast. So I heard some things where it was like, it could be a Call of Duty direct because I think there's supposed to be a big new Call of Duty. So I think that's the thing I've been hearing the most that what's going to be. So if you're a fan of Call of Duty, then you're going to have a whole ass direct about Call of Duty information. But, they're probably also going to show things on probably, I think, the Starfield DLC. I think there's a lot of other rumors about Xbox games, going on PS5. All those rumors are still happening. So there's a lot of things happening here. This could be a really important direct for Xbox because, times are very uncertain for them, as we covered on this podcast. Maybe them turning third party, or them maybe focusing more on software stuff rather than hardware stuff. I don't know if we're going to get all those answers in this showcase, as they probably want to keep it kind of upbeat and not like, oh, we're fucking dying. So, but I am interested to see what they show. I think there's also supposed to be release dates for like Avowed and Indiana Jones as well. That wouldn't surprise me. So, some good stuff. Again, they have some good stuff in the works. It's just that, there's just the whole place is on fire at the moment in terms of like their gaming prospects. So hopefully this could reinvigorate some life into Xbox and Microsoft in general for their gaming stuff. But I guess we'll see once this not E3 season comes around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I really expect for them is something with Indiana Jones for this showcase. For me personally, obviously the Call of Duty Direct is kind of big because I think there hasn't been like a solo Call of Duty like direct thing with Microsoft in like years. I think the last thing that Xbox did anyways with Call of Duty was one of the Black Ops games. So the fact that this upcoming one, it's rumored to be another Black Ops game with Treyarch coming back is like, okay, like that sounds pretty exciting. That is worthy enough to have its own little direct or whatever. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that, we get some good news, some exciting stuff from Xbox, even if it is, some like third party stuff, even if it's with Sega or whatever. Cause I know that, Atlas and Sega, they love to throw stuff at Xbox and be like, ah, yeah, sure, just announce it with your stuff because it'll make the show more exciting. So, when June 9th comes around, I'm sure that we will be watching and we will be talking about it. So,
yes, we will.
All right, so next bit of news we got here is we got another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Master and Apprentice. So pretty much just some more character reveals. We got a couple of Gohans, a couple of Trunkses, obviously some legacy characters like Master Roshi, Krillin, Videl, etc. So yeah, I mean the game still looks great. I think they showcased another move. I forget exactly what it's called, but pretty much when Gohan was dodging all of Videl's attacks, I believe that was from the original Budokai game. So yeah, I mean it looks like that they're digging deep, sort of bringing back old mechanics, but at the same time, just like last time, what we saw was that they are introducing new stuff to make it faster, more streamlined, more modern. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm sure you are too, Damian, and I just cannot wait to see, all of these broken ass characters come together in the 100+ roster on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I guess I'm really nostalgic seeing them do all the the Budokai Tenkaichi moves, like fucking Kid Gohan doing his stupid energy volley. Like they always give that to characters where it's like we don't know what the fuck to give them, so give them energy volley. It looks great. It's cool that they have like one hand Gohan, like future Gohan. Mm-hmm. That's cool because that's something we didn't have in the original games. So I really am looking forward to like how they're gonna do like the story mode and stuff because they say they want to cover like almost every saga or whatever. So I'm that's probably the trailer I'm the most excited for. Like I really want to see how they approach that stuff because I really enjoyed the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 way they did stuff where you just played through all the stuff and there was a lot of fun what if sagas and the movie sagas and stuff. Like you could do like the what's his fucking name, like the dark Goku guy, Tree of Power, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
do all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Tree of Might or whatever.
Yeah, Tree of Might, whatever the fuck it was called. Like that was cool, like that. And as a kid, that was my first exposure to a lot of those like things because those were harder to find as a kid. So that was really cool to see. So hopefully to do something like that again with this game. But it's looking great. We have all the characters we could wish for. I'm very excited for the game still, and still no release date, so that it's definitely going to be next year. Like I'm kind of like betting that's going to be next year. So
yeah, I don't blame them for waiting until next year, because I'm sure, like you said, if it is really everything from like Z to Super, that's going to be a lot of story content. And then if they want to do the movies or whatever else as well, it's like, okay, yeah, like this is going to be a lot of stuff to look forward to, and it's going to be well worth that $70 price tag. And on top of that, you're going to get the online multiplayer stuff. You know, it sucks that there's not going to be any split screen just because of how the modern consoles work. But I think online multiplayer, I think that is more than enough for now. So especially within 2024. But yeah, looking forward to it. Cannot wait to get our hands on it.
Hell yeah. Next, to the surprise of no one, the Fallout TV show is getting a season 2. So obviously the show exploded. Like, everyone loved it. Got great reviews. A lot of people watching it. And it obviously ends in a way where it could continue on, obviously. So it's no surprise that this is getting a season 2. We don't really know like when it's coming out. I don't believe. Like, I'm seeing here, because I don't believe like anyone really knows when it's gonna come out. It might take a while, but that's okay. You know, like I know like Invincible took a while to make a season 2. The Boys actually kind of consistent. Like, I feel like The Boys like kept having new seasons pretty regularly. But you know, Fallout is like, the TV show was like impressively like intricate. Like, there was like a lot of sets, a lot of CGI. Like, it's gonna take a while for this shit to come out, and I'm okay with that. You know, as long as they set the bar the same quality as season 1 and they continue the story. You know, I'm really excited. You know, no spoilers, but I am really excited to see where they go next with it, because you know, that post, or that, you know, the end of the credits thing, I'm just like, oof, it's gonna be great. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully, you know, Bethesda could get their shit together and re-release New Vegas or Fallout 3. That would be really cool, so we could actually play them. Because it was funny when you were telling me with Emma, was just like, I can't even play like New Vegas, like it just won't launch.
Yeah.
Like, yep, that's just how it goes. Those games are so fucking old at this point that they really need modern PC releases. So I would love to see them remaster or remake those games in time for the season 2 of this show. But you know, no pressure there or anything. I'm really looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, I mean, this show was just great storytelling, great characters, great writing, obviously great production value, like you said, with the set pieces, the CGI, everything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this show takes, you know, a couple years, maybe even 5 years for us to get a season 2, just because they want to make sure that they are doing it right. They aren't just making a season 2 for the sake of doing it right. And I feel like Amazon, they didn't know how well this was going to pay off. So they were like, all right, well, let's see how reviews are, and then we'll renew it for a season 2. So now that it is officially renewed, I'm sure that production is going to get underway for this upcoming season. But yeah, I mean, it's great. As someone who has never played a Fallout game prior to this show, it's awesome. It's phenomenal. If you haven't watched yet, please go out of your way to go and watch it, because everyone has Amazon Prime. Come on, like, let's not kid ourselves. And if you don't have Amazon Prime, well, maybe you should go and get that free trial and binge the show a little bit. But yeah.
I had a point I wanted to make and I forgot. But
oh no,
yeah, the Fallout TV show is very good. And that's what I want to say. It really has cemented itself. Like, because I was talking about this with my brother. I think it's probably like the top 3 of my favorite video game adaptations at this point, along with like Arcane and Cyberpunk. I think it even beats like something like I think Last of Us was number 3 for a little bit. But I think this beats it, just because I kind of like how it's its own original story set in the universe, and it advances like the plot forward of Fallout in general, and I think that's really cool. You know, same thing where I think I just like it when it's not a straight adaptation. Like it takes that game universe and kind of expands on it, which is, I know Arcane kind of does that, but you know, Riot lore, you know, they can write whatever. It might as well be Arcane doing the lore now. And Cyberpunk, the anime by Trigger, was also fucking great. So I kind of like them when they're not one-to-one adaptations, but instead like take a lot of things from the games and make a really cool story around it that works better as its own story, rather than try to just adapt the game. Even though I think Last of Us did that really well by adapting it one-to-one basically, but I think I prefer it like this. But yeah, the shit's great. We're living in a good time where game adaptations are really good. I mean, you know, we'll talk about Knuckles in a second, but you know, yeah.
Very true. Next trailer we got here is Deadpool and Wolverine, the first official trailer. This one actually gives us a much better idea of what this story is about. So this version of Wolverine pretty much failed everyone. He is depressed. He is down on his luck, and Deadpool is here to hopefully save him, you know? It seems like that this is just going to be a really fun Marvel movie. You know, it looks like most MCU movies, which, you know, people have pointed out, you know, it looks like an MCU movie or whatever. But hey, you know what? I'm sure that what Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were able to do here is going to deliver. I've said this a lot to my coworkers, and I'm sure I've said it to you, Damian, but this is like make or break for Marvel. Like, I feel like that this is like the last straw for a lot of people, especially since because they bought 20th Century Fox, and this is like the first ever thing under that, live action wise, MCU wise, kind of ish. So hopefully that they're able to deliver. I have no doubts that this movie is going to perform well, but you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see. And yeah, really love this trailer.
Yeah, I really like the trailer too. It's like what you said. At this point, like, I don't feel as much connection with the Marvel stuff because I feel like after Guardians ended and after the, you know, Spider-Man had No Way Home and stuff, I'm like, I felt really content. I'm like, you know, after Endgame, those were like the two main things I really wanted. And now I'm like, do I even care as much about the MCU? Like, I still watch the stuff because still, you know, like the stuff, but I don't feel as invested as before, you know? So yeah. I'm hoping this could hook me back in too. Because I wouldn't say it's like superhero fatigue for me anyway. It's more just like a lot of movies have just been kind of middling, you know, like it's just been kind of whatever. So hopefully, you know, I love Deadpool, you know, and I also really like Wolverine a lot as well. So I'm hoping this movie could really reinvigorate a lot of people to like go see these superhero movies again. And this trailer is great. Like, you know, I think it really captures the you know, Deadpool 1 and 2's humor, as well as like maybe having more tragedy with Wolverine's character as well. So I'm really excited for it. You know, it seems like it has the tone just right. You know, of course it's gonna have the fourth wall breaks with Disney and stuff because he's gonna have to do that. So hopefully all that stuff lands. You know, this movie could fall on its face, or it could be really good. And from this trailer, my confidence feel a bit higher that's going to be pretty damn good. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully it sticks to landing because Marvel really needs the W, you know?
Yeah, they definitely need a W somewhere, especially because once they were able to release their shows, they were kind of releasing them a little too fast. And because of that, a lot of the shows kind of suffered from it just because the quality was just really, really bad. And then they were like, we're going to slow things down. And then they released Secret Invasion, and that was absolutely trash. So
yeah, Secret Invasion was really bad.
So hopefully that this movie will be able to reinvigorate some people's faith within the MCU as a whole. And with the whole like superhero fatigue thing, I'm sure a lot of people that have been watching the Spider Monday stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, we just want like good superhero stuff, and I'm sure we're going to get it starting with this, and then eventually with DC side with James Gunn, Superman, and everything like that. So, you know, we just want good stuff. Like, that's all people really want and wish for, especially because I feel like the superhero stuff is the main reason why people still go to the movies a lot, whether we like to admit it or not, especially me, because I love going to the cinemas. And, you know, when I'm sitting there watching, you know, Challengers or even The Fall Guy and the theater's not totally packed, you know, it's sort of like a classroom size full of people, which is like maybe 1/10, 2/8 maybe, I don't even know. You know, I just hope that, you know, people are willing to go back to the theaters to watch this movie because it does look very, very good.
But yeah, and last thing, so still some Marvel related stuff with Spider-Man 4. So Tom Holland talked about some things here. So he will always want to do more Spider-Man movies. You know, he's always kind of wishy-washy with this. He's like, no, I don't want to do it. And he's like, yeah, I want to do it. But he says he owes his life and career to the character, which is fair. You know, I think, you know, the reason why a lot of people know Tom Holland is because of Spider-Man at this point. I don't even know what he was before Spider-Man. Like, I don't know if he really did much before Spider-Man.
Yeah, he didn't do anything Hollywood-wise. I think he was more on, like, Broadway and stuff like that, but go on.
Yeah, he also says he is protecting the Spider-Man legacy. This is the first time he's part of the creative process very early on, which is pretty exciting because, you know, I do think the Spider-Man actor probably knows, you know, what they want their character to be doing, at least their version of the character they want to be doing. So I think that's a good thing. As some of the previous rumors was, you know, we talked about this before, Holland and Feige wanted a street level movie, you know, maybe with Daredevil, while Sony wants a multiverse event again with Maguire and Garfield returning. I don't know. I feel like it should just be its own thing at this point. I think a street level movie would be way better. You know, we already did the multiverse thing, and you know, like you said before, we should be focusing more on just making good superhero movies. I think the constant need to like connect everything is starting to like get down on everyone, and like we just want a solid movie. Like, you know, Guardians 3 wasn't a good movie because it was like connecting, like it barely like did anything for the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it was just such a good fucking movie that it didn't matter. And same thing with even with like No Way Home, like, you know, it was, you know, it connected all the Spider-Man verses together, but it was more like its own trilogy ending stuff, and it was great, you know. So I think them just focusing on making a great Spider-Man movie, street level or whatever, I think that's what we really need right now. So I'll be totally down for that. You know, if Tom Holland is like, okay, this is what we're doing here, you know, I'll trust him. I like Tom Holland, like I said, I like him as Spider-Man quite a bit. So and now you can't make the argument he's Iron Man Jr. because he ain't got no Iron Man anymore. So it's just gonna be him. So overall, I'm excited to see what they do for Spider-Man 4. And I guess we'll just have to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fact that Tom Holland has finally, you know, sort of come forward and, you know, talked about Spider-Man 4, because people are fiending for any information regarding this movie, just because people are eager to see what Tom Holland's next chapter of his films are going to be, because he's the first actor to get a Spider-Man 4, if you will, you know. So the fact that he is so protective and the fact that he is part of the creative process early on is exciting. I love that. You know, he does know the character. It's just because of how Sony and Marvel did this deal to get Spider-Man into the MCU, it's always been a little wishy-washy. And from my understanding, from the contract that probably Marvel and Sony agreed to, is that there always has to be some sort of MCU character within the movies. And the fact that they now have Daredevil, you know, I'm sure that works out within this contract. And I think that the potential there is very strong because, you know, like I said earlier, I was reading the Daredevil comics, but I forgot to mention that Spider-Man, he appears a lot. You know, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he is always sort of in the background, sort of helping Daredevil out every now and then, sort of relating to him within that double hero life, you know, sort of that Peter Parker / Matt Murdock persona, and then also their superhero thing. And I would love to see Charlie Cox and Tom Holland sort of interact with each other, because I think that they are both great actors for their own respective roles. And if they, you know, if Charlie Cox is able to get on the big screen as Daredevil again, I would be fucking happy with that, because they set it up within No Way Home that, you know, he was Matt Murdock. He sort of helped Tom get out of that sort of like legal trouble that he had. So it would be a perfect transition. And for Sony to want to, you know, do the whole multiverse thing again, please don't. You know, I feel like that was so special, and obviously like they want money. They want to make sure that this shit makes the most. And there's a reason why, you know, sort of they made that deal with Marvel all those years ago to get him into Civil War, was because they had no fucking idea to do with the character. And they still kind of don't, you know, they're very much money hungry, and they sort of want this sort of big, quick success that they got with No Way Home. But they sort of built that up, you know, obviously with the previous Spider-Man, but also just with Tom Holland's character as a whole. So, you know, whatever happens with this movie, I'm sure we'll learn in due time. I hate this whole like superhero movie culture where it's like we know pretty much everything about the films before anything is even officially told to us. So, you know, we're going to learn in due time exactly what's happening. You know, there's always rumors every fucking day about something new, about, you know, supposedly this director's attached to it, or supposedly they want to do this or whatever. But, you know, if Holland and Feige are able to get this street level hero thing, and they're able to focus on Daredevil and even have like the Kingpin be like the main bad guy here, I'm all down for it.
Again, it's like the No Way Home stuff all over again. So it's great to be back in the minds again.
But yeah, all right. So let's get into the last part of the show where we are going to discuss the Knuckles series. Full spoilers. Yeah, we're just going to talk about this show within its entirety. But yeah, Damian, what did you think about it? Because I did a whole solo video on it, so I want to get your thoughts on it, because I believe I was talking to you about it before you even watched it, and you saw like the whole fan reaction. So
okay, so yeah, I went to the show. I mean, all right, before all the reactions came out, I was like, all right, cool, Knuckles show. You know, my expectations are very kind of like on the Sonic movieverse level, because I think people, when they watch these movies, they keep forgetting like these movies are basically like Alvin and the Chipmunks, but like a bit better. And I like them. Like I like Sonic 1 and 2. Like I think they're great, they're really fun movies. But you also gotta keep in mind like they're already meant for more like general audiences. Like it's meant for like little Timmy and like their parents to like laugh at, right? That's kind of why they have all the human elements in it, because you know that stuff is entertaining for like whatever parents like don't know shit about like Sonic. Like honestly, if I show my parents Knuckles, they'll probably fucking love this show. Like they'll probably love it. But even then, and then my expectations got even lower when everyone fucking hated this. Like, people hated this. Like, there was people saying this is the worst thing ever and all that. So my expectations were basically like on the ground or below the ground. And after watching the whole thing, I honestly think it was like fine. Like it wasn't like the worst Sonic. I think people saying that feels like a big over exaggeration to me. It's still not like great, but it's like fine. Like it's definitely the worst out of the Sonic movie stuff. Like I will say that. And you know, Knuckles does feel like a side character in his own show. Like that is definitely very true. But I still think it was like fine. Again, and that's not really like a great thing to say either. But like I think the first 2 episodes were honestly like pretty, like especially the first episode was actually like pretty good. And the second one I didn't mind either. It's just like kind of when it went into like the main plot being like not what I expected. I'm like, okay, now we're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be and all that. I don't want to get too into it just yet. But yeah, my initial reactions are like, I think it's fine, but it could have done so much more with a Knuckles related show. Like there was so many plot points it could have done that weren't this. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why the first episode is so good because you have Jeff Fowler obviously directing it. So he was very much like in tune in terms of like what direction he wanted the show to go in a sense, if you will. And then the second episode was a pretty good follow-up. And then the third episode, it loses a lot of people personally. I kind of liked it. You know, it still had Knuckles in it. It was still like the goofy, wacky adventures, but it introduced Wade's family. And I think, you know, people are going to hate Wade now, even if you've already hated Wade, do not watch this show 100%. But me personally, like I thought Wade was fine within the films. Like, you know, like you said, like it is kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, but good in a sense where it's like, you know, the Sonic characters are very much likable and enjoyable. And then the human characters, you know, they're side characters, which is how they should be. So when this show sort of makes Wade like the main character, you lose me, you know, like, especially with an episode 4 where it was like Knuckles is like, you need to get yourself out of this situation. I'm like, is this really what we're doing here? And then it's like the whole fever dream and then the whole musical bit. And honestly, I fucking fell asleep. I was like, I cannot watch this shit and like stay up because I missed like the whole like Iblish trigger thing that happened or whatever.
A disaster,
I missed that, and like one of my coworkers, she was talking to me about it. I was like, wait, what? That happened? And I was like, I fucking fell asleep. I'm sorry, but yeah, like the show itself is not the worst Sonic thing ever, but it's definitely the worst out of the Sonic movie verse, like you said. But you know, it just feels like a whole like nothing burger at the end of the day. Like nothing really happens. Like there's cool sequences, there's cool funny interactions here and there, but you know, watch the first 2 episodes and I think you pretty much get like what's going on here, because Wade, what the fuck is Wade gonna do in goddamn Sonic 3? Like is he actually gonna be like a massive character? No, he's probably gonna have the same role that he did within the other movies, be the stupid goofball cop, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think them trying to expand upon that character in particular was just not the move.
Yeah, like I don't even like hate Wade. Like I think he's fine. I think it's like you said, he's the main character. Like he is the main character. If they swap the plot points, like if the Knuckles stuff, because Knuckles is basically like the B plot and Wade is the A plot. Like it should be the other way around. Like, I wouldn't even mind them having the bowling tournament or all that other stuff if that was like maybe like a fraction of the screen time. But that's like all the screen time is that. And like. Honestly, I didn't even hate episode 4 that much because like I thought it was kind of cute. Like I thought the stage play was kind of cute. Like it was honestly kind of creative. I feel like the episodes after that did feel like they were dragging on a bit too much because you know he has this whole heart to heart with his dad, but you know he's gonna betray him because it's very obvious. And then you know. All the other stuff with the bowling tournament, I'm just like, it's just taking too long. Yeah. Like it's fine, but that stuff should have not been the main focus. It really should have been Knuckles doing his stuff and then Wade doing his stuff as like a B plot that you see for like 2 seconds and then you move back to Knuckles. If anything, I think they should have kept the show as like a buddy cop thing, like the first episode kind of looked like it was gonna do. I think if they're gonna like that should have been it. Like they should have had equal screen time or like Knuckles should have had more screen time. Like that's basically the main problem with the show. And I think if they went for that more buddy cop thing and them them sort of like tracking down this like rogue gun guy who was like using Knuckles' quills to make black black arm weapons. Like that would have been cool. That would have been a cool direction to bring this series in. But instead they go for the whole bowling thing and it's just like, so.
Yeah. And it's especially unbelievable when Wade is the one to save Knuckles at the end. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, man. What is this? What is this plot armor? But for once, within a 6-episode format, I'm going to say it, but it's like, it should be less episodes. Like, that is like actually insanity, especially when the episode length is only like 30 to 40 minutes. So we have like 3 hours of content here. And I'm just like, we need to like trim it down here because it's just way too bloated. And like you said, it sort of drags on towards the end because after episode 4, I was already checked out. I was like, can we like get a move on and like just finish like what's going on here? Like we get it, like we understand what's happening with this tournament, sort of what it means for Wade and everything like that. So, no offense to the guy playing Wade because he actually did like a pretty good job, but I feel like the direction of a Knuckles show was just terrible.
Yeah, especially when it was like so much you could do with Knuckles. Like I said, you got things like with Takar or Chaos or more things with the Master Emerald. You could have done so much. It didn't even have to be like the major focus. Again, these things are meant more for general audiences to begin with. But I think you could have added some more Knuckles lore in there. Like, again, we get the thing where like they talk about Flames of Disaster, which is like, Iblis and stuff. Like that's cool. But they don't really get too into it. Besides, I guess Knuckles kills Iblis in this universe. I don't really know. But that's cool, I guess. But I don't know. There was so many more things it could have done to focus more on Knuckles. And it sucks is, Knuckles is great in the movie verse. Like, Idris Elba is like so good as Knuckles. Like he always makes me laugh. Whenever he just says no, like, I don't know. I just like, I like that shit. Like Knuckles is really good in this movie verse. So it sucks we couldn't see more of him in his own show. And like you said, I think it's just because it's just too long. Like I think this probably could have just been like a special, maybe like an hour special. That's just a 1-episode thing, like a little mini movie. Because then you wouldn't feel Knuckles not being present as much because it's not like 3 hours of content like you said. So because I think Knuckles' screen time, it was like 70 minutes of the whole thing, which makes sense for like a movie because that's like a lot of money, but instead like, let's just stretch it out and just put Wade in there to like cover the cost, I guess. And also another really distracting thing was how much like product placement was in this. Like Knuckles eating like, I'm eating my Cool Ranch Doritos. Like, and Wade's like, I got my Spotify playlist, and it's like I got lost in a TJ Maxx, and that was kind of funny. But then like the bowling announcer guys are, they got great deals in TJ Maxx. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is this product placement? It's really weird.
They had to pay for the CGI,
Yeah, really, I mean, Knuckles looks great. Like his CGI looks really, really good. But maybe that was the issue. Maybe like they did spend too much money on Knuckles looking good, so he wasn't able to be in the show nearly as much as he should have been.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't want to invest too much into Knuckles, but even then, it's like you should just make it a shorter show then and just have a different plot line or whatever. Because like I get it, like it costs a lot of money to have Knuckles walking and talking and all of this other stuff, and to have Idris Elba, obviously voice him is also pretty expensive. So where do they cut the cost? Well, let's just make Wade like the secondary, even primary character, and it just falls flat. Like I still have my big hopes for Sonic 3. I think Sonic 3 is going to deliver because, they keep talking about, like the Sonic Adventure 2 vibes and all of that shit. So, the fact that this show didn't deliver, I'm not going to sort of lose sleep over it, if you will. But it definitely sucks because I feel like a lot of people were excited to see what this show would do for Knuckles as a character, especially after his debut within Sonic 2, which was so goddamn good. And then we get this.
Yeah, because it really doesn't do anything for Knuckles' character like at all. It's all about Wade, and like you said, at the most he's just gonna be a side character after this. Like this is the only time he's gonna have the spotlight. So I don't know why they wasted that much time on. And I don't even hate the guy. I just think like you probably should focus more on the fucking guy that's gonna be in the movies more. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Steven Universe whenever they focus on like the town episodes, and like I just don't care about this random townie. Like I'd rather focus on any of the other gems. It's kind of how I feel about this, where I'm like, why are you not focusing on the interesting guy, on the echidna, please? So I still think people are over exaggerating. It's like, this is the worst Sonic thing I've ever seen in my life, and that's coming from like people I like respect in the Sonic community. I'm like, is it though? Like I don't think so. Like I think it's just like kind of mid, but like I don't think it's like offensive. Like you could tell the people that made this had like a lot of fun making it, and that's always fun to see. But It's not great, but I also don't think it's like the worst Sonic thing ever. That's a little much in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but it's definitely really fucking bad. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna watch this show, if you're gonna recommend others to watch this show, watch like the first 2 episodes, and then you get the gist. You know, like you pretty much understand what's going on. Knuckles has a few cool scenes within episode 3, but that's about it. But after that, it's kind of like, all right, do you want to waste another hour and a half to watch the rest? Go for it. It's up to you. I literally got the Paramount Plus free trial, that I instantly canceled it after finishing because I was just really mad. I was like, okay, yeah, like that was like kind of dog shit. So
yeah, like Knuckles' presence really drops off a cliff after like episode 3. Like he's basically maybe a little bit in the beginning and then the end, and that's it. Even like the final episode, I expected him to be in way more of it than he was. Yeah, and he just wasn't. I'm like, where the fuck is Knuckles?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. From like episode 4, 5, and 6, I was like, where the fuck is he? Like, what is he doing as this tournament's going on? But hopefully they are able to learn from this, because I know that it was recently announced that Knuckles was like the highest show on like Paramount Plus over the weekend in terms of like a premiere, which, you know, is a good thing. Obviously, like Sonic fans were very, very excited for this show, and for them to sort of drop the ball like this, I hope that whatever they do next, is apparently Shadow might be getting a spin-off series, who knows? But, you know, if they do anything spin-off related, hopefully if it's about one of the main furry characters, it's actually about them. And then if they want to do stuff with the human stuff, they could do like like you said, like an hour special or something like that. You know, just throw it on Paramount Plus. Sonic fans will eat it up. Maybe. Who knows? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like it just depends also on the tone of whatever Sonic 3 is going to be. I don't know. Sonic 3 is going to be more serious, if it's going to focus more on the furry guys, you know, like I don't really know. You know, we still haven't gotten a trailer for the movie yet, so I don't really know how to gauge it yet. But if they are going to do a Shadow the Hedgehog like spinoff show, like you said, we need Shadow in the show. Yeah, you know, they could do a funny thing where, remember that I don't even know if she was in Gun, but that girl from Sonic X, I forgot what her name was, the one that was a Rouge all the time.
Yes,
they're gonna bring her in, and there's gonna be her show in Shadow. That's what we got. So I don't know, we'll see, but this doesn't really do anything for the movie verse. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I think the first episode is pretty good, but after that, it kind of like episode 1 and 2 are okay. Then after that, kind of just like fall off because like Knuckles is barely in it. So yeah, if you're not into that, then don't watch it. It's kind of like not worth it. So
I'm sure most Sonic fans have already made up their mind, or they've watched all of it.
Yeah,
but yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add, good sir?
No, I think that's everything.
All right, so thank you guys for listening to the Travis and Damian podcast, episode 137. We will see you guys 2 weeks from now with another episode.
See ya.